So I'm going to be making some enchiladas, and this time I'm going to be making the sauce from scratch. I'll tell you why in a little bit here, but this is my first time making enchilada sauce from scratch, so hopefully it turns out okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my skillet heated up with probably about 3 tablespoons, maybe 4 of olive oil. And then I have 2 onions here, and I also have about 4 large bulbs of garlic, and I'm gonna cut those up. Okay, now that my oil's starting to simmer, I'm going to add these onions that I cut up into big chunks. And then I'm going to add my garlic bulbs. Mix that around. Now I'm going to add some seasonings. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of coriander powder, about a teaspoon of black pepper, what do you call those? Just a whole black pepper. And about a teaspoon of cumin seeds. Teaspoon of oregano. And mix that up in there. Ooh, that smells wonderful. Now I'm going to add about 3 bell peppers. That have been diced. And then I have 4 bags of these ancho chilies, and I'm going to add them, trying to remove the stems. It just smells so good. I'm going to start making my enchilada sauce from scratch from now on. Okay, so now we have all our anchos in there, and everything's getting pretty much toasted. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding our liquid. I'm going to add 20 ounces of water. $16 ounces of vegetable broth, or vegetable stock. And mix that up and just let that simmer until the chilies get nice and soft and tender. So I tell you why I'm making this enchilada sauce from scratch. My friends, well, she was my friend, she was my neighbor. She was a Mexican-American lady. Her name was Stella. She passed away a few years ago, but she taught me how to make enchilada sauce from scratch, and she was an excellent cook. And I feel like sometimes she haunts my kitchen because weird things will happen in my kitchen, and it didn't start happening until she passed away. And I think she's trying to get me to cook like Mexican food more authentically instead of using like I think she's just trying to get me to cook better in general. So I think she's just messing with me, trying to get me to cook things the right way. But things that will happen is like my burners will all of a sudden get too hot, or like things will randomly fall even though I'm not even in the kitchen, or weird noises, my lights will flicker, and it's always in the kitchen that these things happen. So, and being that my friend's mom, my friend that passed away, Stella, was such a great chef and she was always in the kitchen, you know, I wouldn't be surprised that she would be haunting my kitchen. That's totally something she would do too, because she was a really ornery type of person. She had a big personality, so I'm not surprised she's haunting my kitchen. I know a lot of you might think it's weird, but you know, and I think it's silly too, but I'm not surprised. Okay, so I was able to borrow this blender from the community center, and that's what I'm going to be using to blend up my enchilada sauce once these chilies are cooked all the way through. And I'm just letting this simmer for a while. Simmering will thicken it up some too. And I'm going to want to add some brown sugar to it also. Now I'm not following Stella's recipe because honestly I couldn't remember it, but I'm doing it similar to how Stella did it. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of brown sugar and give it a little taste and see if it's sweet enough. We don't want it too sweet. Now, Stella didn't use vegetable broth in it, but I thought the vegetable broth would give it a more strong flavor, so hopefully it works good. Yeah, that's just fine. In fact, it's a little too sweet. Maybe it needs a little more salt in it. I didn't add any salt, so I'm going to add some salt. That cumin tastes delicious. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt and then give it a taste. Now Stella used a lot of salt, but I don't want to use a lot of salt unless I have to. I'm trying to cut back on salt. Woo. See, my burner's getting really hot again. That's something Stella would do. I'm going to turn it down some. Look at how hot it's getting, and it's not even on high. Stella's telling me to add more salt, I think. Okay, I think I'm going to add some adobo seasoning. That might give it a little better flavor. So I'm adding about half a teaspoon of adobo seasoning. Has it started cooling down yet? No, look at that. It's on like high, but I turned the heat down to low. I'm going to turn the heat off. See, she like possesses that burner. I don't know what she's trying to tell me. Let's give it a taste now. That's pretty good. I don't think it really needs any more salt. Seems to be a good level of salt. I don't know what else it could use. Might benefit from some hot sauce, but I don't think I have any hot sauce. Nope, I don't have any hot sauce. Maybe I'll add some habanero to it to make it a little hotter. Okay, so I have some habanero powder, and I'm just gonna take about 1/8 of a teaspoon or less, and that will add a little bit more spice to it because it's not quite spicy enough, even with that cayenne in there. Okay, let's see if I can get it back to simmer without the burner getting too hot. Okay, this enchilada sauce is done simmering. So, turn off that burner. Whoa. And I'm going to add the enchilada sauce to the blender, and I'm going to be real careful about this because it's hot. I'm probably going to have to do some batches of this because it looks like there's more than will fit in the blender. Probably just a little more. Maybe one more chili in there. And I'm going to get some liquid in there too. Looks like I'll only have to do 2 batches. Okay, so let's get this blended up here. I've never used this blender before, so hopefully it works okay. Okay, I think I got this sauce as good as I can get it. Now we got to do the second batch. First, let me get this first batch out. Okay, that blended much better this time. There was more liquid in that one. And mix those two together. Ooh, look at that. That is beautiful enchilada sauce. I'm excited. I've never made my own enchilada sauce from scratch, and it turned out great. Thanks, Stella. So there's our enchilada sauce. Look at that. Yum. So good, and it's got that nice kick of spice from the habanero. Just a smidge of habanero. And it's got that yummy smoky flavor from the anchos. Now I'm going to clean up some, and then we will get started on the filling. Okay, so I have all this turkey meat right here. Probably 1 to 2 pounds of turkey meat. And I think I'm going to add some black beans to it, just to kind of stretch it out a little more so that I can make more enchiladas, because I would love to feed not only me, but my friend and my mom with some of these. This turkey meat's still a little frozen, so I'm going to have to cut it up and saute it. So I'm going to heat up my burner, and since turkey is a little lean, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And just cut up that meat into bite-sized pieces. Now, turkey enchiladas are my favorite type of enchilada. I think I like seafood enchiladas too, but I feel like seafood enchiladas are better in like a green sauce or a white sauce. I love turkey enchiladas. I make them every year after Thanksgiving. And any other time I get a chance to have turkey meat. Now, this is totally optional, but I think I wanted to give this more of a fatty, full, rich flavor. So I have some bacon grease left from cooking some bacon the other day, and I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of bacon grease in here just to add more flavor. You could use lard or butter, but I think the bacon grease will give it a nice smoky, fatty flavor. Ooh, that smells good. Yeah, I'm glad I added that bacon grease. Bacon goes so good with turkey. And now I'm going to open this can of black beans and drain them. And add the black beans to the turkey. Let's see how that looks. I might add another can. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and add another can of black beans. There we go. Now we got plenty of filling for our enchiladas. And I'm going to add some adobo seasoning, probably about a teaspoon. And now I'm going to move this over to this burner. And I'm going to get this pan heated up to start frying our tortillas. So I have this pack of tortillas, or corn tortillas, and then I have this Colby Jack cheese, and I'm gonna go ahead and grate this cheese real fast while the pan's heating up. Okay, I'm gonna add some olive oil to the pan and start frying my tortillas. Okay, let's flip over that tortilla. Okay, that tortilla is nice and crispy by now. So, we'll move on to the next tortilla. And I finished grating my cheese, so we can start filling those enchiladas. We're gonna take some turkey and black beans, put it in the enchilada, add some cheese. I'm going to turn this off and start the oven to 350. And then I'm going to add some sauce to the inside of the enchilada and roll it up. This one got a little crispy. but that's okay. Okay, this one's nice. So add another tortilla. More turkey and black beans. More cheese. More enchilada sauce. Ooh, that was really saucy. Roll it. Now it's nice to get a little bit of goldenness on the tortillas, but it's fine if you don't. All you want to do is heat them up. And you got to keep adding oil to the pan. So there's our first tray of enchiladas. I'm going to set that aside and work on the next tray. I'm going to move on to another one. I might have enough to fill, I don't think so. I think I'm going to only have enough for one more tray. Okay, so we finished all of our trays and our oven's all preheated. So now I'm going to take the rest of these scraps here and just put some on top. And now I'm going to take my enchilada sauce, put some on top. And now I'm going to top it with cheese. You don't have much cheese left, so you really got to be sparing with the cheese on top. Now ideally I would have liked to have more cheese for these enchiladas, but that's fine. Now I'm gonna drain a can of olives and I'm gonna dump them out in that cheese bowl and then slice them on top of the enchiladas. Now the enchiladas that Stella made for me with her homemade enchilada sauce were beef, and she topped them with olives. And I don't remember what kind of cheese she used. I think she might have used cheddar cheese. Either that or Jack. I think I'm going to give this tray to her daughter. And I'll probably give half of this tray to my mom. Okay, now they're ready to go in the oven. And I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes. Alright, these enchiladas are done. They smell so good and they look good. There's one of them. There's another one. And there's the last one. Okay, let's dish some up. So I'm gonna get into this one first. And this is Stella's old plate. So, a little memory of her. I think this is about 3 of them here. And I usually imagine 3 enchiladas as a serving, at least to me. If you're a smaller person, you might want to eat less than 3 enchiladas. Yum. So here is the enchiladas, and the sauce tastes delicious.